Belated Christmas greetings from me and the Elizabeth line.
It's absolutely beautiful, thank you.
So which Christmas is that for?
Last one.
This station is so big, it spans 2 mainline stations.
Liverpool Street and Moorgate.
But it only has one name, Liverpool Street.
Greetings everybody, welcome to Series 5 episode, I think it's number 8 of the Hidden London Hangouts. My name is Alex Grundon, welcome to another brilliant location. We're taking you somewhere really cool today. It's a station, frankly, it spans 2 big stations itself. And it's lovely, and you're going to get a really good look around it. I don't do this on my own. I've got 3 wonderful folk from the London Transport Museum to guide us around. I've got 2 today with me. Chris Nix is the first one. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Alex. Yeah, one of my favourites today on the Elizabeth line, Liverpool Street. Very impressive.
Got the look of Jim Bergerac there with that coat on.
Yeah, I've been solving crimes on small islands over the weekend. That's why.
So was I, but on a different island. And Sidney Holloway is in the diary room. How are you?
Hello. Oh, yeah, you do kind of look like a sort of Swedish detective, Chris. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Kind of like I'm into it. But exciting.
Sweden. Wow.
I'm into it. The quote of the day. I love it. So today we are at Liverpool Street, but you could call it Liverpool Street Moorgate, really, because you can get off at Moorgate and get on at Liverpool Street and walk straight through this wonderful, wonderful station. The Elizabeth line fast approaching, next line approaching. And so without further ado, let's get into the station. We start at the entrance at Moorgate, where it's all happening, frankly.
So today we're going into Liverpool Street, but we're doing it through the Moorgate entrance. So follow me and we'll go and meet the crew inside. We've got Laura and an Alex waiting for us.
Should we do a guard of honour? Should we do my big fat Greek wedding or something like that, isn't it?
Oh, I've got really cold hands, sorry.
I've got really cold hands. I'm so sorry, you'll have to stop there. We're just keeping our hands warm. What should we do? Can I do the Eurotrash moment?
Go ahead. Well, here we go.
That track's called Bridget Bardot, you know that?
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, are you ready for this, Bridget?
Are you ready for this?
See, I've been called many things in my life, but never Bridget.
Now, do you remember Whitechapel?
Yes.
Take our masks off now. Do you remember Whitechapel?
Yeah.
And that moment of arrival was a similar one here, but there's a lot more going on.
This is like, do you know, I don't want to do this, but look.
Yeah, I feel like I'm ruining the shot because I'm
stood. That is so cool.
And you've got this ceiling that's kind of ribbed for your pleasure.
Isn't I wasn't expecting you to say that. That's beautiful, but I love the tiles on the wall and that that archy bit, that's really nice, isn't it?
It's really nice. the difference is, I mean, the arch kind of like here is similar, but the tiling all that is different from Whitechapel, right?
These panels, yeah, absolutely.
They're
and
not the same.
It's what I do love about these spaces. It's techniques that we've seen before, but they're different again. So you've got that beautiful kind of formed shape of these panels with the acoustic damping. We've seen before, but these side panels, these punched metal sheets, we've not, have we?
Yeah.
And kind of echoes that ceiling with the ribs and the triangles.
Which to me really looks like the kind of ripples of waves.
Yeah.
It's stunning. Can I just say, that escalator,
he's got his camera
that
out
view,
again.
the escalator, I'm so sorry taking a photograph for my own personal pleasure here.
Is this
absolutely stunning,
pop
isn't
eating
it?
itself? It's me taking a photo of him taking a photo.
Yeah, shall I do that?
Mike just head in the middle of it.
And the other thing I was going to say was, you know, when we were at one of the other stations, I think it was Farringdon, you mentioned how these panels in the ceiling are bespoke. They literally make one for that. And if that one breaks or whatever, they have to go make another just for that. Is this the same?
Yeah, that's right. So to get this 3D shape, they're made in a mould. They're glass reinforced concrete panels. And basically the way you create them is you put them in the mould, and whilst the mixture is still setting, you kind of form the panel to whatever shape it needs to be. And that is unique, different to that.
Just imagine that concept really, Lord, because the idea that they're doing all of that jiggery-pokery with the mould, they're not here, are they, when they're doing that? They're in a factory, presumably.
That's right, and these are all, designed in computer-aided design suites. So, you can call off panel number 237 or whatever it is.
Jiggery-pokery. I love a bit of jiggery-pokery. And look down there, everywhere you go. I have to say, I'm going to have to come back and take some photographs of this. It's too exciting.
We can see from these SID panels that we're at level 4 at the moment, so we're a fair way down in the ground. You can see that just from the escalators.
Go back on that just for a moment. The SID, the SID.
Yeah, so
these are the
SID plates.
Yeah, and they're numbers beside doors, aren't they?
That's right. Station ID is basically what it is.
And you said that 4 shows we're 4 below
yeah,
ground.
so the number on the top
Yeah.
is the level that you're at. Sort of. So the bigger the number, the deeper you are.
I hope you're taking note of this. I hope you're taking notes.
They
This is good
totally
stuff.
will
I
be.
call out this stuff because it's important that
They
you know.
totally will
Actual
be.
facts.
It's so this. I have to say, because you two have been here before, but the anticipation is half the fun of this for me.
We have had a little sneaky peek, but it was quite a while ago now, wasn't it?
Well, it
So-
is. It's been so long ago, I'd forgot there was a second escalator, which
We are
goes
a long
down
way down.
nearly as deep as before. By the time we get to the bottom, we'll be at 34 metres below ground, which is pretty seriously deep.
Because Whitechapel felt really deep,
Yeah, that was 30.
and we're even lower than
Yep.
that. This is, and look at this again. The ceiling law, loads of dimples. I said about dimples, didn't I? On the
It
way in?
is. I like how it plays with the lights, so the different reflections and kind of how it draws your eye in.
And again, if this is your first watch of a Elizabeth Line station on the Hangouts, we've got these luminaires which are uplighting the ceiling. We've got the advertising panels all the way down the sides of the escalators. Really neat stuff, isn't it?
It's gorgeous. It's
And Alex,
absolutely gorgeous.
turn around and look.
Oh my
There
goodness!
is a proper totem forest,
That's so cool.
isn't it?
Just for you,
How
Grundy.
many are there? That's
So many.
That's a joke, surely.
It's great, isn't it?
How many of them are there? That's ridiculous.
But magnificent.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And look,
And-
we love them, don't we? Everywhere we go, we've got this beautiful purple roundel. That's a totem forest, isn't it? Finally.
It totally is.
Now, Alex, another thing that we've talked about before on these Elizabeth Line stations, look at the colour temperature of the light. What does this
Gorgeously
tell you?
warm.
here?
This is a lingering longer space,
It
isn't
is.
it?
It's a warm light
Some
space.
alliteration.
And you can see the two passageways that run off either side have got the cool light that is there to suggest you carry on through to the platforms, which are again warm light.
Our vocab book today, linger longer and jiggery pokery. We've got so far.
Alex's technical terms.
And luminaire.
It's a luminaire. But it's interesting when you were saying about the lights on the escalators as well, because you wouldn't obviously see them because the way they diffuse the light. Unless you put your hand over them, you see how bright those lights
right.
are. Because you'd never imagine it. They don't dazzle you when you're going down the escalator or
They
anything
almost
like that.
look like they're not on from here,
Yeah.
don't they? Really, all you notice is the panel lighting on the escalators
Escalators,
themselves.
yeah.
But they are tremendous. The other thing which I like about these is you can have quite a good game of hide and seek.
I knew he
couldn't
was
you?
going to say
What
that.
about that? Who was that? Was it Harry Webb? Who was that guy, Thingy Webb? When he did that thing like that? Do you remember the guy when he did with the
Little,
mirrors?
yes.
little bit.
Who was the guy with the mirrors? I forget. While we're in the Totem Forest, we ought to just have a moment about this because we always joke about it. We have totem copses, which are like 1,
Yep.
and then we have totem woods, which are maybe 3, 4.
Yeah.
This is a totem forest.
Definitely
it's
a
a phenomenal
forest.
totem forest.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why there are so many down this corridor? Because I mean, surely this is just a flagrant use of a totem, isn't it?
So, absolutely flagrant. Remember what their use is. So they're there to support services like a help point and signage, but also to have speakers in them and uplighters. So these luminaires on top are helping to keep that constant density of light in the space. So the reason that you need a whole bunch of them here is because there's a whole bunch of space. And so to spread out the sound, the CCTV, the lighting, the signage, you need a forest.
And hasn't technology changed so much? I've lost you there for a
We're
moment.
sneaking in
Hasn't
the middle.
technology changed so much since the days when you used to have a row of strip lights along a platform?
Absolutely.
I mean, that seems such a thing of the past now,
It's just
doesn't it?
really elegant now. You haven't got that horrible kind of surface cabling all the way down. The other thing, of course, is that makes this different to Tottenham Court Road is you have this central concourse running throughout.
Yeah. Okay, shall we...
Yeah, well, I think we should. Let's just go down to the middle.
Of course, the thing is as well, I'm wearing my high vis because, frankly, I just love wearing a high vis.
Well, I wore mine because you wore yours.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You don't actually need to, but I suppose, I can go on brand.
you wanna whip it on?
Yeah, let's get a bit of hidden
Because
London
I do,
action.
I have to say, there's something that just makes you feel a little bit more important about wearing orange.
Oh, important. Sorry,
Important.
I misheard.
In all honesty,
I've
it
been
does
that
help.
for years. to
Other
be fair.
operational
Professionally
staff.
important. Again, we're now beginning to see the signs and the trains and everything else just sort of hoving into view. We are so close to the opening of this line now. And for the first time coming here, I actually travelled on one of these Elizabeth line trains into Liverpool Street.
Did you?
They are so
Did
beautiful.
you?
Yeah, because I wanted to put your cushion on the train.
You got a
I
shot,
put on Instagram,
right?
yeah, of course I did.
Gotcha. Missed that.
But again, we've got these beautiful. So this bit is mined, isn't it? This
It
part of the
is,
station is
yeah.
mined because it's tunnelled.
That's right. So rather than it being created as a box in the ground and then covered over, this is tunnelled through. As I've said before, these kind of almost impress me more because tunnelling on this scale to create a station is quite an impressive thing, I think.
But there's also boxes here, isn't there? Because
Yeah.
it was actually Chris, our lovely man on camera, who said, but there's boxes too.
Well, that's right. The two entrances are basically small boxes which connect the mine sections together. These mine sections are so huge that it joins the two stations of Liverpool Street and Moorgate together. It's almost like kind of a hammock between the two when you look at it as a diagram in the ground. Platforms 238 metres long, seriously huge. Should we go and have a look at some of the other...
I'm only giggling because you said hammock. I was thinking of Borat.
You like hammocks? Yeah.
So sorry.
Good. Well,
I just
should we
love
go and have a
holidays.
look at some of the other
Let's
bits?
do it.
Let's go
do
off
it,
to the
let's
water.
do it. Let's do it.
Northern
So where do we start with this then? A ribbed ceiling, Mr. Nix.
Yeah, it is. It's quite an impressive pattern, that, isn't it? Kind of breaks it up, stops it just being a flat, featureless slab. Very nice.
And City, lovely hammock.
Oh, who doesn't love a seriously huge hammock?
Exactly.
I actually would love to have a hammock on my terrace. So that's just reminded me to have a look at that on
On Amazon.
on Amazon.
I love this. 34
Online
metres down, though.
retailers are available.
Yes, it felt a long way down, though, didn't it, Nixie? Because you'd forgotten about that second escalator, and we got down to that middle bit where those amazing panels, those literally the bespoke panels all the way along the ceiling. They all are. And then we go back down again. It really is an incredibly long way down at Liverpool Street.
Right. How do you forget about an extra escalator? I just, from when I'd been there with City and Laura last year, I just totally forgotten there was that extra step down. I don't know, City, do you remember just how big that space is?
You know what? I'm really remembering when we went there back in 2017 when they were building it. We stood under that big shaft which they dug the station from, the shaft that they sunk from Finsbury Circus, and
Yeah.
I just remember standing there and not being quite able to picture what this would look like as a finished product, and then standing there today, although I couldn't make your site visit, it's really extraordinary, right? Because it is, as you said, Christopher, incredibly, extremely huge.
I remember when you and I visited, they were only just starting to fit some of the internal linings, and that was the bit that we could sort of first connect with what it might look like when it was finished. It's also the only place where you and I got to walk in the ventilation voids underneath the platform. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's so big you could stand up in them.
It's incredible. I mean, there were quite a lot of incredibly huge things in that station on the day we visited, and more to that in a moment. But the one thing I do need to bring everybody's attention to is our massive Totem forest, because that is quite extravagant. And of course, when you look down that tunnel, it's only when Chris points out the stark raving obvious that there are lights on the top of them, which explains why you need so many of them, City, because that replaces your strip lights.
Yeah, and it's a really clever way of utilizing the space in a different way, because it kind of separates it into both left and right hand side, and it also kind of, I don't know, it makes the space a little cozier, because if you can imagine that entire long straight being not completely empty and all the services within the walls, it would feel much more kind of cavernous and I think less cozy maybe. So it's a really clever way of getting around that, and I think it looks more impressive with the totem forest.
Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And lovely to see as well Laura out on the road with us as well. Hi, Laura. I know you can't make it today. I know you're up to your eyes and stuff, but so nice of you to come and join me for a romp round Liverpool Street. And we promised you more massive things in that station. So let's go to Moorgate. Do you know, it's just stop for a minute in your minds and think about just how big this project is. Because this station alone is epically large. And then you think about the multiples of this, all the way along the line. This goes from Abbey Wood all the way out to far, far into Berkshire. It's huge,
It's huge,
project, isn't it?
It is huge.
I think of all the stations, Liverpool Street is the one that impressed me most with the sheer scale of it, because it's got that concourse that runs all the way through the centre of it, and the sheer scale of connecting it onto the 2 LU stations either side of it. Look.
There is a feeling of magnitude about it, isn't there?
It's absolutely epic. It's like a rabbit warren, isn't it? But a really, really swanky rabbit warren.
It is. It's like, you know, when you go into an office and they've devoted like 3 stories of it to an impressive atrium at the front. It feels like that, doesn't it?
There's that financial services company, isn't there, by the river? And there's that huge, huge bit where you'd expect there to be floors.
Yeah.
But it's chopped off and it's just
an atrium.
huge.
And even in this huge space, listen.
It's hardly any echo, is there?
It's incredible, isn't
Loves
it?
his echo.
It does, doesn't it? The acoustically treated Liverpool Street.
These sound scattering bars as ever up on the ceiling there. And
Do you want to bring your bass guitar down and have like a little strum and see how it sounds?
I love it. It's
You're a bassist, aren't you?
no,
look at the length of that.
yeah.
Your lead guitar, sorry.
Look at this, is crazy.
It's just the sheer scale of this means I suspect there might have to be a little bit of speedy up.
This is bonkers, isn't it?
Oh, do you know what? Should we Morecambe and Wise it?
Oh no, what?
So we're going to go on the right first.
Hang on, you're out of sync.
We're
okay.
always
So
out of sync, aren't
after
we?
3, go right.
Right first,
One.
right foot down.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. We're all out of sync again.
We did really well with that, didn't we? Well done, everybody. Do you know,
dear.
I cannot believe how... Oh, change of acoustics.
Uh-huh.
What's happened there?
Well, you're getting a little bit of bounce back from the ends of the tunnel, so you know.
With that loud, our voices can hit the end of a tunnel. I love that.
You get this at Charing Cross on our tour. You'll get that change in acoustics when you're going down the construction tunnel, because it's so long. You kind of get to a midpoint, and you're getting a bit of bounce coming back of an echo from either end of it.
There's kind of an incline and decline going on here as well. It's not completely level.
I love the fact, have you noticed, by the way, we're getting quite good at this sort of filmy type thing, because Chris keeps running forward and filming us and then running back, and we just ignore him. Completely nonchalant. Is there a camera here at all?
And in the trade, that kind of just moving from one person to the other apparently is known as swinging singles, I found out.
Is that right?
That's right.
It's half the fun. So we are now walking, because we got in
Towards the Northern Line.
We went down to Liverpool Street, but now we're going back towards the Northern Line.
Yep.
You know, I mentioned before about the levels.
Yeah.
Look at this. So here's a SID plate, an SID.
Hi,
We're
Siddy.
now
We're
at
on
level
6.
6.
6 floors
Below the
below.
ground.
And this is, when you say 6 floors below, this is like office block 6 floors.
Yeah.
Oh, see, this blows my mind. This is
You
how...
go look, mid-level, link passages, mezzanine.
So of course, throughout the Elizabeth line, you've got step-free access. So every time you come to a interchange like this, you've got not only the stairs,
Which is
but
a
also
game changer
It
for
is.
these stations, isn't it?
Right, so we've got to go up here past this amazing
Well, that way we'll
child's
take
play
you up
thing.
to the Northern Line. So let's just have a quick look. Most of the places we go to, Alex, this is
Yes.
used to.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Here we are.
If you were travelling on the Northern Line today and you saw some people in orange high-vis, that was us.
Let me out! Let me out!
Do like a little interview with someone as they go past.
It's really cool though, isn't it? And to think that only a couple of years ago there were still the old remnants of the 1930s refurb on the walls, those green and blue and white tiles on the
right.
walls at Moorgate that were then covered up with new tiles and those amazing silver metal signs from the Isle of Wight.
So until pretty recently, this was blue hoarding.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have been able to see into this, but
Slowly
it's getting close.
opening up.
Getting close.
I love this station. I think this is my favourite.
Really?
Yeah, just
And
because
it's
it's...
your favourite too.
is.
That's interesting.
I think it's just because of the sheer scale of it. It's brave. It's a really brave, ambitious size. You know,
It's bold and it's confident.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it.
I like that. I'm going with Tottenham Court Road though.
I wish I'd gone on that trip.
Oh
you know,
yeah.
you know,
We may change. We may turn you yet.
unlikely.
It feels
but
to
we'll
me.
try.
It feels to me that Liverpool Street and Tottenham Court Road are siblings. They do have similarities to them, and I do like both of them.
I
Well,
love the Totem forest. I love I love the fact that it just feels like there's lots of circles, there's lots of squares. The lighting is beautiful here. The platforms are just epically
They are.
large.
They
They make
really
me feel
are.
like I'm abroad.
yeah.
It's just lovely, and I love the fact that literally the other side of this thing here is our tube that we all know and love, and one of the hidden London locations just the other side of this. Moorgate.
Absolutely. I spent a lot of time in Moorgate recently trying to get our public tours up and running, and they're going really well. Got really good feedback, which is great.
I love the fact there's so much old and new in one location. It's fabulous.
Well, of course, we're not done yet, so it's time to go and have a look
There's
at
more.
the other end of this station.
Let's do this.
This is where Alex fell straight down the stairs. When I say abroad, I mean abroad as in not here, but there, all right? Nothing else. Siddy, what's your favourite station on the line?
What's my favourite Elizabeth line station?
Yeah.
We've been to so far. Oh, you know what? That's a really tough one because I am minded to say Liverpool Street, Moorgate as well, but I'm going to go with Tottenham Court Road.
See, you and Laura, absolutely. I need to go and see that station. Now, I love length, and that tunnel was gorgeous, Nixie.
It's quite a significant tunnel, that, isn't it? I remember when Siddy and I first walked down that when it was under construction. It's quite a sizable way to get from one to the other, but it's quicker than heading up and back down again.
What I don't think we're going to be any good at is threesome Morecambe and Wise act, because we look like we were cocking our legs rather than dancing, though, Nixie. That's the only problem.
Yeah, I think what we needed is a former newscaster in a dress next to us to help us get that right.
When Siddy reads the news, which I'm sure is inevitable at some point in the future,
matter of time.
I think it's going to happen. Siddles, one thing that I did think about, and I haven't really sort of put it into words, was that incredible moment where you go from the very square bit of tunnel into the atrium and you look up and then you turn right to go down that big tunnel.
Yeah.
But you just look up and think, am I going to change the light bulbs up there? It's so huge, isn't it?
Yeah. I know. Well, I mean, the whole line is on such a massive scale to which we have just got nothing comparable in London to even kind of comprehend. So I think sometimes it will be really interesting to see how it all runs. But of course, it's been designed so it's all fairly maintenance free and that it's, you know, able to kind of at least tick on for quite some time. And of course, you know, with modern technology and the materials used, hopefully it will be a smooth sailing, although we know in the transport industry that very rarely tends to happen, unfortunately. But I don't know, everything about this line, the more we discover about it, the more I'm thinking I just can't really comprehend what a game changer this is going to be until it comes into service, because the more we see of it, the more I'm just in awe of how this is going to permanently change London.
More than any other line I've ever known, this changes games. It really does. And if you do if you imagine this station is now connecting two mainline rail terminals above ground. So you think length, look at the platforms.
Yeah, I think also what's really interesting is that I went to Moorgate the other day because we were heading to the Barbican for the theatre, and you know how weirdly, because of the way Moorgate is placed, it's kind of an east to west station, but in my head, because of the Northern Line, it's a north and south station. I don't know whether you guys know know what I'm talking about.
Totally,
so when you come
totally.
out of Moorgate, it's confusing that you want to go north to go to, for example, Barbican, but you go to the left. And the same goes with when you're going to Liverpool Street. So the fact that you're actually going to be able to just walk underground straight to Liverpool Street and skip the confusing, wait, which way am I supposed to go here in order to connect to Liverpool Street? It's going to really make a big difference, I think.
There must be an episode, a Hidden London Hangouts special at some point, which compares the topological map, the tube map as we know it, with real life. And where you think the Northern Line always goes north-south, it actually goes probably diagonally at times. There are times where the Circle Line goes a completely different direction to the one you imagine. Would you not agree, Nixie? There's got to be an episode.
My favourite one of those is you're travelling on a northbound Northern Line train from Angel to King's Cross.
Yeah.
As you arrive into King's Cross, in which direction are you travelling?
Yeah, it's absolutely, you're so right.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure what we mean, look it up on a map because it is going to blow your mind. Now, we mentioned it before, it's platform time. They're epic, they're beautiful. Take a look. It's quite unfortunate where the mic pouch is for my microphone in my trousers.
I don't need to
Fortunate
know
or
that.
unfortunate?
Very unfortunate. Well, it's good for me, but bad for
So,
everybody else.
Here
Westbound,
we
shall we?
are. We're going to go onto the westbound platform.
We're 7 floors below here.
Because, of course, we've come down another set of steps, haven't we?
Oh, the warmth. It really, look, blimey. Okay. That is just...
It does have a kind of almost holiday light feel to
It really
doesn't
is.
it?
To me, I'm abroad.
Club Tropicana drinks are free.
I was thinking more carry on abroad, but you know. But I do love all of this. It's fantastic. And as we say every time, Law, it's that warmth. It's the dimples. It's the detail. It's the lovely purple roundel.
It's how it all works together.
Yeah.
I think that it's the lovely combination of kind of texture, materials, light, the differences in light, and how it all kind of plays with the senses. I think it comes together very nicely. And it's a really, really, really lovely station and part of set of stations. It's done really well.
Chris, very quickly,
Yes.
because if you have never seen one of these episodes about the Elizabeth Line stations, there'll be bits of the stations that you've never spotted before. The destination boards as well, above each of the doors.
Just so comprehensive. We're used to just very basic information about the destination of the next train, how long before it is due to depart, and the trains that are coming behind it. Here, you've got a comprehensive set of information going on about where you are, which way the train's going, what it interchanges with at the neighbouring stations.
And it's coming in now, and you're going to see your cushion on the
The,
seat.
can you imagine?
It's going to be amazing. It's
Just
going
going to
to be
have
amazing.
to sit on it on the way home.
There's something though that's really exciting. We've said this in previous episodes about the fact this is a brand new railway under London, a long way under London, and we're getting to look at it before most other people are. I say most other people because I'm seeing pictures bleeding out onto Facebook and public testing of things.
That's right.
So we're not
of course,
quite
we've
as
got ours
exclusive
coming
as
up, haven't we,
Yes,
this
Sunday,
weekend?
yeah, absolutely. But
So
there
here
you
we
go.
go.
The trains again, and they're so pretty. There's your lovely fabric.
There she is.
Moquetta-rama for our fans, look at that. And again, it's just so nice and gleaming and shining and beautiful, isn't it?
So again, as we've talked about on previous shows, we've got platform edge doors, which have got the visibility strips on them to help visually impaired people see them more easily. We've got the benches over to the side there. It's a really well thought out platform, this, I think, but it is designed to get a lot of people on and a lot of people off these trains.
Very, very fun.
Capacity is such an issue in an ever-growing city. And this will make such a difference to a journey. And I really think that all of the accessibility developments must be, I mean, so appealing to be able to just increase that level of travel for people.
Well, I'm already starting to think about all of my journeys using this line because I live at Woolwich.
solely on this line
Yeah,
forever.
because I'm now thinking to myself, hang on a minute, 20 minutes to Bond Street from where I live.
Yeah.
It's an hour at the moment.
Yeah.
This is much, much quicker. So it is making a mega difference to the way I plan my travel around London.
Already, yeah.
So we're at the midpoint now. Should we jump back into the Totem Forest for the next bit of our walk?
Totem Forest is a football club, right?
That's right. It has to be said that if history has taught us one thing about stations in the history of London is the one thing you can never have too much of is space. And I think this station really exemplifies that.
I mean, it's sort of, it really gets you, doesn't it? Every view in this place.
It does kind of make you want to go, tooting!
And you're
And just
not
shout.
rewarded by an echo.
Down the Totem forest.
The distance, the how far down we are plays with my head a little bit because we're 7 floors below.
Yeah, 34 metres, 7 floors down.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And
Do
I was
you
thinking,
get any feeling of claustrophobia on
Not at all.
different lines?
you know me, I'm a right old worrier, aren't
Well, I know
I?
you
I'm
don't
a
like
total
heights
worrier.
or a
Not a
lift.
big fan of heights. I don't particularly like confined spaces, that kind of thing. Here, I've never felt anything other than calm and at ease in any of the buildings that the Elizabeth line has built. It always feels so spacious, airy. There's never that claustrophobia.
Yeah.
It never even feels stuffy.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's so big.
the space is amazing.
And the shape of everything. There's something very womb-like about the roundness of everything. Do you know what I mean?
You're
It's
going to feel
cosy.
reborn when you get to this end of the station. Is that what
I've had a
you're saying?
naissance. We're going to have a renaissance now. It's beautiful.
Alex is having a moment.
Presumably, all of these. Is this paper? Is it?
So.
Are these going to change? Can they change? Is that how
Yeah,
they're going to change the
they're
posters?
just advertising
And
panels.
they'll just be like any other poster on the.
It's not
Wasn't it?
digital though, yeah, it will be.
I was just wondering if it was a telly, but
Unless
it
it's
does.
Oh, I see.
digital
I think it's
behind
printed.
Yes, they are advertising panels.
That's quite cool, isn't it?
They've got some great imagery and information on
We
these.
saw one like that at Totem Court Road. There was a set of them there with the global adverts on them.
The typeface. Just talk to me about the typeface, because at the moment we've got Johnston all over, and we see it on all the totems, everything else. This is different.
Well, you can tell straight away. Look at the tops of the eyes.
Yeah.
They're squares, not diamonds.
So does this go back to the Crossrail project?
Bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you. Does this go back to the Crossrail project? Right. So that was their typeface, and it will now become Johnston over time. The Tube Underground.
Yeah, so
typeface.
you can see around, if you look on the signage over here, if we look at the eye, that's a Johnston diamond.
Look at the eyes. Don't look at the eyes.
Eyes or J's or full stops or anything like that.
And whatever you do,
Easiest
don't
way
ever
to-
call them fonts. They're not fonts.
typeface.
They're typefaces. Get into awful trouble if you do. You lose points on your Hidden London Hangouts loyalty card.
But I do like the fact that this has been used as a bit of a gallery to the project, so you can walk down and find out about it.
It's just, it's off the scale. I mean, it's just off the scale. You have a job getting your head around how. I hope on the show today you're getting an idea of just how big this station is, because it's tiring actually walking around it. It's
Given
really
we're,
big.
Small rest.
We're filming this while the Paralympics are still on. I've just successfully completed a slalom down the totems.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so cool. And as I say, I do love. You know, I'm a real purist. You know, I love the red and the blue of the underground colour scheme, if you like. But the purple is beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's all right. Sometimes I make myself grow in my own jokes. Totem Forest Football Club, lovely jubbly. But of course, we're down the platforms. And the thing is, you can't hide the fact they're huge. I mean, we're talking just under 240 metres, aren't we, Siddles? I'm sure you've got the precise number to your top of your head.
238 meters, but
Course
yeah,
you have,
they all have different. They've got different sizes to them, haven't they? It's just, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, 238 meters. It's enormous. Like that is just, it's really long. And one of the things that I've felt when we walked those platforms is just that, you know, you get off and let's say you're having to leave the station. It will be an adjustment, I think, for people when they start using this, just the sheer, you know, length of a walk that it will take to get to the exit. But it's such an inviting environment that I don't think it's a problem at all, because it's just kind of like an uplifting place to be walking in. But it really will be kind of I think a slight culture shock to Londoners when they first experience it, in a way.
Totally. I'm already thinking most of my journeys, as I said in the film, most of my journeys are now going to involve the Elizabeth line. That's quite exciting. You know, wow, a whole new bit of London that doesn't exist at the moment that will suddenly become part of my daily life. And as I said in the film as well, Chris, it does have the impression of being in a foreign city, where you're in those beautiful, dramatic, modern platforms, station spaces, everything. You could be in Madrid or Berlin or somewhere. I imagine it's a hot country. It reminds me of the platforms on a hot country.
Yeah, I think the sheer scale of them, the modernity, it's a station that takes itself seriously, and one that you can feel quite proud of. So yeah, I know what you mean about that sort of international feel to the site, and the distance between them. I mean, let's face it, there are stations which are closer together on the system than this platform is long. So yeah, it's impressive scale.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. One more film to show you from while we were down there on this tour, which incidentally we filmed before we got on the trains. Does that all make sense now? I hope so. The trains episode was a complete surprise to all of us, so we were really delighted with that. But before that, we'd filmed at Liverpool Street, and we decided to exit towards Liverpool Street, enter via Moorgate, exit via Liverpool Street. Take a look at this.
Having another tourist moment there, Alex.
Oh my
Always.
goodness, look at it.
Well, we've got another old friend to meet up here, another feature that we've seen before at a different station.
What do you make of this, Law? Because this is just, the escalators are just beautiful, aren't they?
It's a very impressive space, and it's actually really nice coming back. Chris and I, like we said, we've only seen this space once before, and it was quite a while ago now. So seeing it again, it's really lovely, isn't it?
It is.
And I think I'd forgotten how big it was. I'd forgotten the kind of vastness of all of the space, not just the length of the platform.
I agree. I remembered intellectually that it was
Yeah.
the biggest one,
Yeah.
but I haven't fully imprinted the scale of it.
I don't think I hadn't appreciated at the time quite how impressive it was.
Now, you know my telepathy, by the way, it's got a lot better, hasn't it?
Excellent, good skills.
Telepathy tells me that the typeface of the old Crossrail project is called Clavica.
Good skills, I like
And
it.
hold a minute, it's coming in. It's coming in home. Someone called Suraj did all of those posters as well.
Well, those posters are
So, hello
incredible.
Suraj, well done.
Is telepathy's other name Chris?
Camera.
Who works
Chris
for Camera?
Camera is just amazing. I can feel
Thank you
something.
for
Can you see the
respecting me.
light shades flickering as I come up with this
Alex,
amazing
look, we're at
moment?
number 4 now.
So
Yep,
we come
we're
up
heading
3
back up.
floors on that escalator. That is just, this is crazy, isn't it?
Crikey, that's quite a formidable fire door, isn't it?
That's
epic
that's so
scale.
cool, isn't it? And again, the Elizabeth line signs. There's just something really lovely. Oh, here it is. Hey, Suraj, well done. So this is Clavica, ladies and gents,
I
L's
thought
and
that
G's.
was your collarbone.
I've broken my Clavica. But that is Clavica, not to be confused with Johnston, or the new version, which is...
Oh, Johnston 100.
Thank you.
Indeed. We know how to film this, don't we?
Oh, yes.
No. Liftgate.
It's another one of these funky old lifts, isn't
let's
it?
call it down.
I love
See,
this.
we've got the same arrangement as we did at the box at the other end of the station here.
Just so much bigger. The panelling goes right up to the top of the escalator here.
I love this, don't you? Oh, here it
So
comes.
here it comes.
This
Our
is
inclined lift.
this is bonkers as well.
It's great, isn't it?
But it's just, oh my goodness.
This was the first one we had a go with, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
Farringdon.
Yeah.
Farringdon.
Well,
So-
yes, but we'd been here before that.
This was the first
so,
one that we'd
Cindy,
seen
Laura
or
and I
been in.
came here before.
And played with this.
I think we
Yeah.
did as well, I can't
Yeah.
lie. I'd like to say we were super sensible,
It's
but I think we had
fascinating,
to.
though. There's also something about, the fact that you can see the workings of things in these stations as well. It's become very transparent.
Oh, I
all of it.
like
Yeah.
that. It's very smooth
Yeah.
as well, isn't it?
So
Everything's
there's
kind of.
so all the escalators, they stop and then they start up when you get near them. Presumably that would happen with this one, would it? If I walked
Well,
to it.
the nice thing, that
No,
one's
that
switched
one's
off.
off.
But
Just off.
the nice thing, if you remember,
We've got a
we
grid
learnt-
switch.
the
Well
nice
done
thing,
for trying.
nice thing that we learnt last time is that if we take this lift, then the escalator goes at the same speed. Remember?
Oh, I'm so sorry,
Oh,
Chris.
it's
See you in a
racing,
mo, Chris.
isn't it?
See you in a mo. So this is what, but you see again, it's glass. There's
go.
just something really cool about all of this. We are just kids, aren't we?
We are.
just kids. I love
Okay.
it. I love it. I love it.
And
What a lovely station.
Oh, look, he actually
he's
just
so
very plays
lovely.
with the
He's so
light.
He is just amazing. We love Chris. Absolutely love it. So this is an inclined lift. So it's a bit like the sorts of things you'd have at the seaside, isn't it?
Like Cliff Railway,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And so we've just gone underneath. Can you just
That's
see
right,
here?
that's
Like,
the
on
counterweight.
outside, there's a yellow weight. That's the
guys.
counterweight that pulls it up and down, isn't it?
That's what it balances.
Yeah.
I think the first one that was fitted on the underground was at Greenford. They fit up on there. So there aren't that many of these around on the
17 persons.
Yeah,
You'd
17 persons.
You'd really have to know each other quite well, wouldn't you?
This is beaut, isn't it, really? And then we come out here and
After you.
the
Thank
bit
you.
that really blows my mind is that on the way here, I got off the train at Liverpool Street and I had to walk to meet you at Moorgate.
Yes,
Google Maps told me that was 7 minutes.
yes.
We've just done that whole journey back underground in a tube station or in a railway station. That is so
Absolutely.
cool, isn't it?
Should have timed it.
Yeah, it blows my mind.
I've got to say, I'm loving this ceiling up close. Do you remember when we did the London Bridge episode,
waves.
the second one, and we were in the Jubilee line, and there were those kind of upturned boat vaults in the ceiling that
Yes.
are lit? It's similar, but I love kind of the straightness of this. It's less of a fluid shape, and it's
Completely lost me on that one.
That's great.
Up here, what I think is really cool, if you look really carefully at it, I can't decide whether it looks like concrete or that sound baffling fibre board. What is it?
So it is concrete, but it's got mica in it. So if you remember,
I loved his
again, we
songs.
talked about that on the London Bridge episode. It hasn't got a lot in it, but it's got enough just to give it a little bit of sparkle.
Yeah, it's
And
gorgeous.
guys, what's beyond the gates? Liverpool
Yes.
Street.
Let's go and have a look through the Bostwicks.
Let's do it.
It's neat, isn't it? So neat and so smart. And
It
that
is.
up there will be the way to street level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Even the Bostwick gates look really funky and modern now, don't they, compared to the old ones at some of our hidden London locations?
Yeah, they look a lot more substantial, don't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
really
do.
kind of
And so-
beefy, like twice the
To keep
thickness.
you locked in,
It is.
Mr. Grundon.
And so that is the Liverpool Street Tube Station booking hall, is it? Through those doors, is
Yeah.
that right? So that'll be Central Line and the Hammersmith and City Line and Circle Line.
Just wait until it's all open and it's all connected and it's going to be
You
amazing.
can see from the sign, Central Line and Hammersmith and City.
Yeah, well done. The clues are there.
I mean, it's a rather large sign.
If you look, Alex is in observation mode today.
Streamline,
It's beautiful. I
team,
absolutely
streamline.
love it. Love it. It's great.
Do you know what? There is one more inclined lift, which our Patreons have seen quite a long time ago now.
Oh, really?
Do you remember when we were here
Yes,
with Siddy?
good memory.
And we
Good
gave
memory.
our Patreons a little sneaky look at this.
Speaking of
before
Siddy,
everybody
actually,
else.
we need to ask her what her favourite Elizabeth line
That is
station
true.
so far is, because you guys have gone Whitechapel. No? Liverpool Street.
Do you know, I love the little desks as well that are everywhere. Have you noticed? They're for clerical purposes at the moment, but it just makes me laugh. I hope they stay. They're like a nice mantelpiece for awards.
Smaller plants.
Yeah.
Plant, maybe.
Plant.
One of the nice
And an angle
things
points
about
at
this is because it's so brightly lit, you can see how it works really easily. So you know you mentioned about the counterbalance coming underneath the lift. Well, if we call it,
Come on
we
in.
have the camera
Get
just
Chris in here.
nice and up close.
Get
we'll be able
camera
to
Chris
see
in here.
The yellow counterbalance.
Look at the wire, the track wires. All these things are just sort of, presumably that will come down. Look at
That's
that.
right, yeah.
It's like tank.
There you go. So that's the
um,
counterbalance, that yellow thing going up underneath. That's balancing the mass of the lift. Means that there's less energy required, so it's more
great, isn't it?
controlled.
It's great.
And here we go. We're going to do this one more time.
Yeah, why not?
I feel like we're here. It's fun. We should.
So don't worry, get in here, out of the pier, up to the top of the town. I feel like I'm in Scarborough.
Do you want a donkey ride or
Sorry.
an ice cream?
When I last went on holiday to
Either or.
Greece,
They have a boat.
Come on, I'd like a donkey ride with an ice cream.
when I was last on holiday, our hotel had one of these lifts. So now I associate these lifts.
Only you.
With,
Only you would go somewhere like
I
that.
now associate these with, yeah.
I love it. I love the
Being
fact
on
I
holiday.
love him. He's still there. He's still
He
following
does.
us.
He does. It's
Excellent
amazing.
tracking work there.
Oh, God love him. And this is where we, in fact, this is exactly where we started.
It is.
We've done the loop.
Full circle.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Broadgate exit, as it's called apparently.
Uh-huh.
Didn't realise, but I do now.
There we go.
What a
Odyssey
Here we are.
at Liverpool Street. Is that it?
Our Odyssey with 3 oddities. It's great. What a station. Loved it. Loved it.
Well, Alex, you were in total dad joke end of the pier mode that day. And also at the start of that film, I'd never realised that you were a medium.
Do you know, I'm a large at the moment. But I have to say, when we were talking about Micah, I did feel like going, don't you like me? Don't you like me? Because of course, Mika's songs are beautiful. Love Mika. Really, really love that station, Siddles. Bit of a crush on Liverpool Street, Elizabeth line, I think. Liking it.
Yeah, sort of like I could be brown, I could be blue.
I could be Violet Sky, just
Well,
like
you
the
could be
purple.
Violet, of course, because of the Elizabeth line.
Love it. Love
That
it,
was
love it.
very funny. Well done. You're a witty man. You're a
Silly,
witty
silly
man.
boy. Silly, silly boy.
The beautiful station. I can't wait to actually travel through it when it opens on the Elizabeth line. I think it's going to make a big, big difference for people commuting into the city, to their jobs, or to whatever they need to do in that part of town. And I actually can't wait for the street level artwork to be revealed there, because that's going to be really, really beautiful, and maybe something we can revisit at another time.
Do you know, it's interesting because one of the comments under one of the episodes of the Elizabeth Line Hidden London Hangouts was from somebody who just made a comment about the amount of decoration, asking whether it was really necessary. For me, and I really hope I speak on behalf of a lot of people in London, I think it is necessary because it brightens my day. It makes my journey happy. Half the joy of doing the Hidden London Hangouts is we can go into old stations and new stations and say, don't look at your phone, don't look at the Metro newspaper, look where you're going and have a look in these doors and these little grates and all these things and see what you've got. With the Elizabeth line, there's detail everywhere, isn't there, Chris?
Yeah, I think the world would be a really sterile looking place if we didn't take this extra care. And I guess the four of us doing what we do on these shows, we are programmed to look for and value these extra bits of detail, which on the one hand, you could say they're superfluous, but they make a big difference when you add them all up.
Yeah,
They really, really do.
I think it's been proven. I mean, that careful design and making spaces like public transport and things like that feel comfortable, luxurious, open, easily navigatable, and just like interesting to look at, encourages people actually to get on public transport and really like makes people want to use this mode of travel rather than other means such as the car or whatnot. I mean, I specifically remember my sister lives in Stockholm, and the Stockholm metro is very interesting because it's very different to ours, because Stockholm's all built on kind of rock ground, right? So they're kind of these massive granite caves almost that you go into. But each one of them has got sort of a theme to it and a difference to it. And it really encourages you to want to travel through the network because it's an experience. And I think that's what they've done with the Elizabeth line, is that it is a comfortable, luxurious experience that they've really thought every part of the journey through for the passenger. So I think, yeah, it is important and lovely.
It's a shot of joy in the arm of London at just about the right time. So that was Liverpool Street. Really looking forward to visiting the other stations which are yet to open as well, yet to visit. Woolwich particularly. Caught a glimpse of that when we were on the train. Loving every minute of that. Can't wait to show you that. But that's in a subsequent episode. So thank you very much. Lovely to see Laura. And kudos to Chris Bevan-Lee, our man on camera, who nails it every time. When we sit and watch these as we're recording these episodes, we are just astounded by the panorama that he creates for us. So Chris, hope you had a lovely holiday. Love you to bits. I'm so glad you're part of the family as well. Notes, queries and questions this week. Loads to go at. First of all, I was handed a piece of paper when I was at a pub on Saturday. Joe and Isabella, fans of the show, we love you too, so thank you very much. Also, Chris Nix, pudding time.
Right, so I was in the office last week and a piece of mail finally landed. When I say mail, it wouldn't have exactly fitted through the letterbox. It was an enormous parcel full of puddings, and from one of our lovely viewers, John Dyson. These have been rattling around our internal mail system for so long. He actually sent them in November. Thankfully, Christmas puddings do keep very well. And he sent them not only for the four of us, but also one for Harriet and one for Eleanor, who do our uploading and the behind the scenes stuff on the Hangouts as well. So thank you very much. He says in the card, just a little thank you for the Hidden London Hangouts that has helped so many of us through tough times. I'm a viewer from the first one.
Oh,
So
love you, John.
And
Amazing.
Bless you. It's a very, very sweet thought, John. And thankfully, the best before date is all good. He he actually said that the reason that he thought send Christmas puddings is that when we were talking about Christmas puddings on one of our shows, Siddy mentioned that she hadn't had one.
I haven't. I've never had one, boys.
What?
Never had a Christmas pudding. So this will be a treat. By the way, I just want to say to people, if you know, sending things to us and whatnot, because of the pandemic and everything, there are some bits of mail that have been, because we've got 2 sites at the museum. We've got our offices and of course we've got the museum at Covent Garden. So I know there have been a few people saying, oh, you know, we sent this, sent that. It's because sometimes the mail goes to one place or the other. And so we're trying to streamline it. So we're receiving absolutely everything you're sending us, but just you were wondering.
We are getting there. We are getting there. Chris, next quick question. Are you a cream or a custard boy with your Christmas pudding?
Are you allowed both?
Good man. See, my mum makes brandy butter as well, and I've still got some of that in the lurk in the back of the fridge from Christmas. So I'm going to smear mine with brandy butter.
I think actually my favourite thing to put on it is clotted cream, and I know that's going to spark a whole debate of which
that is a whole level.
I'm going to go rogue and be very Icelandic and say I would want some whipped cream.
But you know, I was actually just thinking to myself when you said I'm going Rogan, I thought you were going to smear it in curry. So
no,
where are we going with
whipped
this?
Cream. It's just, I love whipped cream. Who doesn't?
Gorgeous stuff. Marvellous, marvellous, marvellous. Now, Christopher, as well, we've had another arrival. Thank you, John, for those. We've had another arrival. We've got moquette. Someone's delivered moquette.
So you haven't seen this yet because yours is still awaiting collection.
Unshare me, by the way. Can I see this in big?
You absolutely can. So Dave Taylor, another one of our long-standing fans and friend of the museum, sent us some very special maquette. Which
it's so nice. Look at
yellow.
this.
What could it be? Well, the answer is it was a special promotional one. Now I've got to make sure I get this the right way up. So what's that for? So
Yellow pages.
Oh, you said it.
Sorry, so anybody.
Be careful not to put it the wrong way up. And I also think for some of our younger viewers, we're going to actually have to explain what Yellow Pages is, aren't we? Because I realised that several years ago, I got that through the door and I've kept it because it was the last one they were ever going to print.
Have you actually got a Yellow Pages? Do you remember when we were younger? And we used to rent property? There'd always be like 6 Yellow Pages in the hallway, wouldn't there? That someone had rammed through the door.
Before everybody had the internet in their pocket, that's what we had to do if we wanted to find a local business, was to reach for the Yellow Pages. So named because, you guessed it, its pages are yellow.
And do you remember the phone book as well? A to D.
I haven't got that one in the Maquettopedia yet, but it will be going in.
You'll know this, won't you, Nixie? You'll know this because you know everything. Do you remember with the old phone book? Because there was Yellow Pages in the phone book. The Daleks in Doctor Who were named after the letter divisions of the phone book.
Really?
A to D, E to K, L to R, S to Z. Dalek was rearranged was the letters on the phone book. Did you know that?
Wow. So you mean if I look under D, I'm going to find Davros?
Daleks is apparently the letters A to D, E to K, L to R, S to Z,
wow.
which are the divisions of the alphabet that were split up by the phone book books.
Here's a question for you. Can you name another maquette on the Underground that was yellow?
Anybody? No.
Wait, no. Yellow.
The people
like what I'm
answering in capital letters in the chat right now.
Oh, go on, give us it.
Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Underground did a special run of Olympic ring maquette.
I love moquette. There's loads of it in the London Transport Museum shop. Go buy it, support your favourite museum in the world. Another picture, Mr. Nix, because my fan on the Strand.
And there you go.
Oh, that's so nice.
You know, it's funny because whenever you see us in the street, please stop us because it really makes our day. And this is Stuart and his partner, Nina. Me and my friend Chris were walking along the road and all of a sudden this lovely man says, "Are you Alex from the Hangouts?" And I said, "Yes." And my friend went, "Oh, here we go." And this is Stuart and Nina, and he is lovely. He's been watching it for ages and ages and ages and just wanted to say hello, which is all very lovely. So say hello to Stuart, team.
Hello, Stuart.
Hello, Stuart.
And there's also another picture, Chris, which we feel we need to share in this happy little situation.
Oh.
Now, I need to explain what this is because, Chris, maybe we just need to show them the moment in the previous episode, where this all came about. And also got to say hello to Butch in the Iron Line depot in Ryde. When we were there last time, Chris is laughing. When we were there last time, his name is Ian Butchers, and he's the loveliest man in the world, actually. And I happened to quip that his nickname was Butch for us, for obvious reasons, if you know me. And unfortunately, he's been getting quite a lot of stick from his colleagues in the depot. So boys, stop taking the mick out of Butch, all right? Stop it. It's not funny anymore. It's funny. So the team at Ryde Depot decide to take a screen grab of the episode and put a little note up to say, "Stop taking the mick out of Butch, who runs the depot." So I reckon next time I'm over on the Isle of Wight, I need to frame something up and frame it for the depot wall. Don't you think, Nixie?
I particularly like how they've caught you kind of mid finger wag in that one. It's just great. It's like you can almost see going, now stop it.
I just love it. This is where we really start making a difference. It's absolutely gorgeous. So hello, Butch and the team at Ryde Depot. I was on your trains the other day. I still love them, all those old District Line trains. And finally, we've got a little comment about high vis, because since I know you like wearing high vis, and after the Canary Wharf episode of the Elizabeth Line, there was talk about how you love wearing a little bit of high vis, you know, just around the place.
Oh.
Well, I do anyway. Warren said, in the summer, I would only wear underwear under my overalls, specifically when over 30 degrees. So it's only much more comfortable. The overalls were black and red. And there's a little devil icon.
I see, 30 degrees in temperature. Right, yeah.
Yeah. And I just put underneath kind of fruity, because I think there's a little kind of cheekiness about high vis. Would you agree, City?
Well, there's a cheekiness about high vis.
Really?
I mean, I will say that the one time that I did wear high vis, and Chris delightfully showed a photo of that looking like I wasn't wearing anything underneath, which I was. I did actually wear something underneath it for both top and bottom. So, you know, do whatever works for you, mate. That's all I'll say. But make sure if, you know, just put it in the wash afterwards.
See, in an ideal world, you'd cut back to me and I'd be wearing just a high vis and nothing else on. However, I've only just joined the gym and it would look like I'd need the door frame greasing to get me out of here. So we're not going to do that.
No.
Laura, as always, thank you very much indeed for joining us on the show, and see you next week. City Holloway, thank you, gorgeous human being, for everything.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. It was a delight to join you today.
And thank you very much, Mr. Nix, for being my corner of my screen for the last few minutes. It's been lovely.
It's been a delight, Alex, and lovely to be back at this station again.
Gorgeous. Loads more to come on the Elizabeth Line. In the meantime, find us on Instagram. It's Alex Grunden, Chris Nix, City Holloway, Hidden London Law, and at LT Museum. You found us on YouTube because you're watching us. Thank you very much indeed. And all you got to do is like, subscribe, and comment down below with whatever you'd like to see in our series. We're coming up to our 2nd anniversary. Very excited about that. In the meantime, have yourself a great day and stay safe.